I am so sorry.
What happened?
My tummy got a little upset. So I was doing a Twitch stream before this, and my heart was like pounding out of my chest. I've only done 2 solo streams, and they I just get so nervous doing them, dude.
You got so nervous you friggin' vomited?
Well, I don't know.
Trigger warning, too late.
I haven't been oh yeah, trigger warning. I have not been sleeping well this past week, man. I'm a little stressed out. So there's a lot of change happening in my life, and it's disorienting me. Disorienting. Disoriented. Yes. So I apologize, everyone. I'm trying to get back to being myself.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's a little off.
I got a little irritable right before we got on. I promise that wasn't directed towards you. I was just panicking because then all of a sudden Ethan's ready and then I was having technical difficulties. It doesn't matter anymore.
Well, I'm sorry, Hannah.
Hey, I forgive you. And we're going to have our usual fun time Thursday.
Hell yeah. Oh, I forgot to establish the friggin' audio line.
Okay, well, while he does that, I'm going to welcome everyone to the show. Is that cool?
Thank you. Do that.
Okay, so while Ethan gets the lines going, welcome to the pickup line, everybody. Happy Thursday. For those of you returning, nice to see you. I see a lot of you in the chat. Some usuals, some regulars. Thank you. If this is your first time tuning in, go ahead and press that subscribe button. Ethan has a bunch of other segments too, but this one in particular, while he is the your friendly neighborhood atheist, this is not an atheist exclusive show. We just talk about sex, dating, and relationships. We get callers from all different backgrounds, and feel free to call in if you want to just talk about dating, sex, relationships, need some advice, anything like that. Go ahead and call in. The number's on the screen, and it's covered by whatever that is. I'll find it in the chat. 951-364-2430. And in the meantime, in between, we'll be covering jealousy today.
Well, the real question is, would anyone really want my advice? Because I'm single. So, I mean...
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, relationship advice.
Oh, because you haven't landed a relationship?
Well, you know what? I would say, even though a 12-year-long relationship didn't work, I would say keeping a 12-year-long relationship or maintaining a relationship for that long does give me some pointers, I think. I hope.
I think that you and I both have such different lives. And I think it gives, I don't know, you have your own insight. I think it's valuable.
I have old man insight.
You have old man insight. And I got young whore insight.
Wait, sorry.
Young whore. I'm a whore.
Oh, that's what I thought you said. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Not really, but I mean.
Dude, we've already got people calling in. That's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Well,
there is, I think, some jealousy, and I mean some, minuscule. It's normal to have a little bit. I think the problem comes in when it turns into acting on restricting what your partner does, or being overly invasive. Who are you talking to? What are you talking to them about? Why are you talking to them? Do you really need to hang out with them? Things like that, to me, are red flags I look for if I hear something like that. Because at least in my own life, and where it's going to be difficult for me, is I'm going to need somebody who doesn't get jealous, because I'm out here in public talking to a lot of different people. I need someone who's going to be confident.
Your co-star is smoking hot. That's threatening as hell.
Sorry, I wasn't going to say that.
Also, you have a really interesting situation specifically with who are you hanging out with, because you're so close with your ex-wife.
Yes.
And you're going to need someone who trusts you enough to know that that's going to happen. Yeah, no, you put it perfectly. I think jealousy is a normal human emotion that is healthy and normal to have. It's just when your behavior becomes inappropriate, then yeah, that's a problem. It becomes inappropriate, when you're acting irrational because of the jealousy. And on the total flip side of things, because I've been on every side and nook and cranny of this coin. I've been the jealous one. I've had jealous partners. I've had indifferent partners. I've been indifferent. I think we have a good, that my current relationship I'm always bragging about. We have like a pretty healthy balance. And I still get jealous. Pardon?
Wait, you do? How jealous?
I get jealous?
Yes.
Okay, it's really interesting for me because, gosh, I've come such a long, it's a lot, because I've come such a long way with like with my own security and like picking the right person. Because I think, let me backtrack a little bit. If you're acting inappropriate because of your jealousy, or you feel like you need to control the other person, it could mean, this is all just my opinion, two things. You're not secure with yourself, or maybe you're not secure with your person, or both. But that's either indicative that you need to work on yourself, or you're with the wrong person. If they're not trustworthy, why would you be with them? And if you don't trust them and they are trustworthy, why are you with anyone? I get that. Some people have, okay, like this is a whole nother segment, but people with borderline personality disorder, I don't want to shame them for having a fear of abandonment. That's a whole different thing that people need to work on, like together. I get that. But I'm just talking about, I feel like an asshole. I'm like, well, I'm talking about like neurotypical people only, exclusively. So if you don't fall into those lines, get out. I don't mean to do that. I'm just saying, like, I'm just speaking generally.
Well, I don't think you can have like fear of abandonment or abandonment issues and still not necessarily take excessive action. Like you could be like, hey, I'm scared of losing you. You can voice your concerns, but I think it's the problem comes in is when someone tries to restrict their partner's actions. And for me, this is actually something I need to work on personally, because I, for most of my life, was told, don't act like this, don't do this. You're not, always made to feel broken for being who I was. But so now I'm at a point where I am so like,
you don't want to be told what to do.
Yes. That like, nope.
I'm the same way.
Nope.
I'm gonna do it even harder now.
Yeah. You're not gonna stifle my expression. Nope. And it's like this emotional reaction. It's like, no,
right.
I'm gonna do it. And it's like,
I think,
no, stop.
I think there's also like, you have to have a certain amount of respect for your partner. Like, you can't just do whatever the fuck you want knowing it hurts your partner. I think if you both come to an agreement, like these are our healthy boundaries and no one feels like they're lying to themselves to appease their partner, I think that's appropriate. Like if you're like, hey, I'm threatened by this person, don't hang out with them. And they're like, well, that person wasn't that important to me anyway. So like, sure. But if it's someone like, your ex-wife who like plays a huge part in your life still, I mean, my ex and I are still incredibly close. I just saw him in California and like no problems there as far as I know. But yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. There's compromise, there's give and take, there's sacrifices you're willing and not willing to make. But what I was going to say real quick was I still get jealous. Yes. So I used to be one of those very insecure people who was like, I'm threatened by everything. I'm not secure in myself. I'm scared. Now, when I get jealous, it like makes me want my partner more.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's kind of like a good thing. Like it's when I'm reminded that he's desired, like by not just me, it makes me feel like competitive in like a sassy way. Because I trust him so much, I'll just be like, ooh, like if I like notice someone's looking at him, or like if I catch like, hey, that person was flirting with you, I'll be like, first of all, that's my man. And like it's kind of playful because I trust him so much. Like I feel safe. So, but I still feel like I'm scared to lose him. I'm not like excessively scared or extremely scared. Like it's not a constant anxiety of mine, but I would not like to lose him. So I get jealous because I mean, jealousy is the feeling when it's like you're scared something is threatening, going to take something away. Envy is when you want something someone else has, but jealousy is like, this is interfering with the thing that I have. As I think, someone told me that once, and I thought that was like a really cool, like, that's the difference.
Yeah.
Do we want to take a caller, or do you
Yeah,
have anything to follow up?
you want to get to a caller?
Yeah.
Okay, so coming up first is going to be I can't talk. Matthew, and you wanted to talk about jealous of other people in relationships?
Oh.
Yep.
Okie
Hi.
dokie.
So now that you've said it, oh, sorry.
Oh, no, please go ahead.
Now that you've said it, Hannah, I guess what I'm kind of experiencing is more envy than jealousy. As a person who grew up not having a lot of relationships, I'm like in my mid-20s with, one serious relationship all my life. I look at people who are in serious long-term relationships and I kind of get envious instead of jealous. So I don't know if that's within the purview of your call today, but yeah. That's what I wanted to talk about.
I don't know if I'm correct in what I just said. Just someone explained that to me, and that's how I've always viewed it. So I'll have to like Google the actual definitions later. But as someone who's been like a total jump from one relationship to another, and then has been in I'm not trying to brag. I'm just saying, like, I guess I've gone through periods where I can relate, but I've pretty much always, I don't say single long. So I've been envious of other people's relationships when mine weren't going well. But that's about it. I don't know. Ethan's single as a Pringle, if he wants to talk about that.
I can understand, like, when you've been single for a long time, being envious of what other people have. That's, I mean, sorry, I can't say we all. A lot of us want to be with somebody that, that makes us happy. And there's nothing wrong with, I guess, as long as it doesn't turn into like anger, like that jealousy doesn't start to, I'm trying to think of the words to use to describe it.
As long as it doesn't become like excessive or abusive, maybe.
Right, or harmful.
It's like anger is also a normal human emotion, just like jealousy, but it's the problem when you are being harmful or abusive or just rude. We don't have to go that far. Like, you don't want to be a jerk.
What if it's anger at myself? Like, I kind of beat myself up about something like that. It's like, Matthew, you need to like fix this. You need to, change this about yourself, that about yourself. You're not good enough. They don't like you because you're not good looking enough, or you don't have much of a personality, blah, blah, blah,
See, be careful, because like if you're hard on yourself, like where you're, being critical and wanting to push yourself to grow, that's one thing. But when it comes down to like your inner voice is just being a bully, like, where is that? You need to think about where that's coming from, because that's not going to get you anywhere. Is even if you genuinely feel that way now, practicing better self-talk is a really good start and becomes kind of a habit eventually. I mean, I feel like such a hypocrite because I've been really mean to myself for a long time. But once you start to really recognize your value, and it might be hard because you might not know what that is yet. I mean, things fall into place. That's just the first step. You know what I mean? And it's hard to grow within when you're your own bully. You know what I mean?
Sorry.
How do you know?
Go ahead.
How do you know the difference between when you're your own bully and when you're just, talking to yourself, recognizing your weaknesses?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question, and that's hard. Ethan, did you have something you wanted to say?
I would actually struggle with the same thing in trying to tell, like, okay, am I being overly critical on myself? Or am I being realistic or really hard on myself? And it can be really hard to draw sorry for the background noise. To draw. Apologize. Background noise really throws off my thought process.
No worries. Let me know if you need me to jump in.
Jump in, please.
Okay. I don't know if you can really tell the difference, but here's kind of what I've tried to practice is that when I am criticizing myself and I realize it's not productive or something I can't change, then I have to kind of just stop it. And if it's the opposite of that, then yeah, like that's a good place to start. If you're like, I don't feel like I have a good personality, like maybe I'm not charismatic enough. There's this really good YouTube channel I'd recommend. I think it's called Charisma on Command.
Dude!
Yeah, I mean that's like there's resources for exactly that, and that's something that you can actually work on if you are serious. But if you're like, I'm worthless and nobody likes me because I suck, well then that's not productive. That's just being a bully. Does that make sense?
I would also say that I think one of the I want to choose my words very carefully here, but if I say the best thing to do is to try to make what's
holding you back? What are you worried about?
Well, I don't want it to come out wrong. That's always my biggest fear on
Okay.
things like this.
So if you're
Go
worried
ahead.
about it coming wrong for fear of offending me, don't, because I'm like the hardest person on myself. Yeah.
I get that. Like, I actually most of the time will not watch my content because I hate the way I sound. Like, legitimately, I'll
Do
listen
it,
and
you'll get used to it. No, like seriously, no, you have to do it a lot before it becomes normal. I've been doing it for 12 years. That's why I'm used to it.
Dude, it drives me nuts. I'm so critical when I hear myself speak. Like, I'm like, dude, nope, I sound stupid. Oh, look, like I pick out every time I go like, and I'm like, yep, dude. Like, it makes me really insecure of my intelligence, especially because it's like the seizures like damage my brain. So I know like, I know how, to me, it's more obvious than it probably is to other people. But anyways, that's not the topic. So have you ever tried just not necessarily just asking women out, but possibly trying to make friends with women and developing what would be the word for that?
Not romantic relationships.
Yeah, not romantic relationships with women.
Quite the opposite. I actually have like a lot of women whom I'm very good friends with, and some whom I've expressed romantic interest in. And they've actually said, "Oh, I'm sorry, Matthew. I see you as kind of like my dad or my brother, or you know."
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's just rude.
No, I just know it hurts.
It's not rude.
No, it sucks to hear that though. Like, I would rather hear, "Hey, you're a friend," but like hearing you're like the dad or the
You're
brother,
like a dad. Yeah, that's a little harsh.
that sucks, man. Yeah.
I mean, I get where they're coming from. I am kind of like a caring person. Like when there's a group of people who've been drinking, I kind of like, I take care of them. I'm like, hey, can I get you back home safely? Blah, blah, that sort of stuff. It's a very protective thing. So I get where they're coming from. In their defense.
Has it helped build your confidence, like having friends that are women, to make it easier to approach other women? No?
Well, partially is because I'm afraid to approach women in general, because the first time I ever approached, asked a woman out, I was told I was quote unquote too short to date. And that was painful.
That's mean.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think shaming of any type needs to stop. I mean, unfortunately, I've seen people like screaming out against fat shaming while simultaneously like posting memes skinny shaming. It's like, how about we just stop body shaming? I mean, I think there is it's good to be honest, but there's also a polite way to decline people. And I don't know, just like telling someone they're too short. I mean,
they could have just said no, thank you.
Right. Like that's just, there's being honest, and then there's just being like mean or hurtful. And I think things like that are hurtful. Just saying.
No, yeah, it sounds like you dodged a bullet, but at the same time, I understand that that's hard to recover from. Rejection, like, happens to everyone, and it always sucks. And yeah.
And if you get, I can see why some men get in, like, I don't want to say, I understand why, like, they get angry when I see them get it, because rejection can hurt. And if you get rejected enough, like that can really sit with you and mess you up. You know, I had someone close to me that went a very long time without a relationship, and it really affected his mental health. And when he finally got to a point where he like had a intimacy with a woman, his mental health turned around so much. Like you could just see the difference in him. He was just like at ease, because to me, most of us need that. Like even me, like over the past couple of weeks, I've had I don't know what to call it, but a cuddle buddy. And no cuddle, that doesn't mean sex.
Okay, strictly cuddle.
That's done wonders for my like mental health, like especially with how anxious I've been lately.
Quit bragging.
No, it's not.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
But no, it's really nice, and especially like it being an atheist cuddle buddy. Like, so I similar beliefs. That's pretty cool, man.
So,
anyways,
yeah, basically,
Hannah,
sorry, I didn't mean to totally interrupt, but
no,
we're social beings, and not that, anyone is entitled to companionship. It's understandable that people crave it and feel sad when they don't get it. We're social creatures. So yeah, I mean, that's rough. I wish I could like snap my fingers and be like, I'll just give you your own perfect companion, because I feel like everyone needs somebody,
And by the way, you are such a polite caller, Matthew. How did you hear about the show?
I've been quietly following you guys forever.
Oh, cool. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, I've dated someone short. I've dated 2 guys shorter than me. So whoever said that you're too short to date can fuck off.
Sing it, Hannah.
Well, that's very nice to hear.
Just saying, like, don't give up and be nice to yourself. That's a good start. I wish I could, like, it's hard. Finding someone's hard, especially if you don't know how to. Like, it's easy for me because I have had lots of practice. I feel very privileged, but I don't know. My heart goes out to you. I don't want anyone to be lonely. But start trying to do that positive self-talk. Focus on what you can fix. If you can't fix it, don't even give it another thought. Focus on what you do like about yourself too, and flaunt it.
Yes. Flaunting and building your own confidence in the things that you are proud of does make a difference, particularly like how you carry yourself. People will see that. And one thing I think I've learned over the past year in getting back into dating again is okay, sorry. I'm just offering my perspective from a man of what I think I've learned about women. I'm not in any way trying to speak for women.
I'll correct you if you're wrong.
But they are way more willing to look past, like when I talk about my crappy past with certain women, they don't really care. Like, as long as you're honest and transparent, like, women are way more understanding than men, in my opinion.
We're pretty forgiving.
And they will at many times look past, things they don't normally like, and find all the things they do like. I don't know. I prefer women to men because they're just way cooler. And usually women are more likely to, in my opinion, foster healthy dialogue and are more supportive. Like, hey, you can do this. Like I don't know, they're better at building you up, I have found, at least in my life, than men typically are.
Do you mind if I comment on that just a little bit?
Absolutely, please.
So while I see where you're coming from, I understand. I'm not saying that you're right either. In person, I find this very true. But one of the challenges that I've been facing, and it does nothing for my self-esteem, is that, while I'm on a dating app, you're judged very, very much by the parameters you set in. So when I put in, say, my height, which I'm clearly insecure about, I get filtered out of so many people, out of so many lists. When I put in, say, my race, I probably get filtered out of even more lists. When I say, atheist, I probably get filtered out of even more lists. And
yes,
while I may come up as, very nice in person, it's tough to build a rapport as a
suitor,
as a person who is interested in someone else romantically without being their friend first. And I feel like when I become their friend, I get stuck in that, take care of people role.
So I just want to give you a little insight from my perspective as a woman. And I don't know if I'm speaking for for all women. I mean, obviously not all women. I have a friend who got married to her Tinder date. But a lot of us are on there because we're bored and we want an ego boost. So just keep that in mind when you're on a dating app, is that unless you are like cookie cutter, for lack of better words, you kind of have a hard time on there unless someone's looking for a real relationship, and that's kind of rare.
I haven't had much luck on dating apps at all.
Yeah. It's like we're kind of, when I used it, I literally swiped through and I was like, cool, I matched with someone. Maybe I'll meet them. I'm just kind of feel satisfied that they were interested in me. Okay, bye. Like, it's kind of just more of an ego boost, boredom thing.
See, I wish I had better feedback on this one, Matthew. I really do. I want to help, but I don't know that I have much to offer.
I think that you're just, you might be one of those people that might have better luck somewhere not on a dating app, maybe like a common interest forum type thing where you can foster more of a connection with someone that's not going to suddenly get turned into friend zone type deal. I hate to say friend zone, but you guys know what I mean. I hope this helps. I know I wish I could wave a magic wand and be like, you're not single anymore, but I know it's complicated.
Oh, trust me, I wish I could too.
Well, Matthew, thank you for taking the time to watch the show. Thank you for taking the time to call in. I hope we were at some way helpful. If not, I'm so sorry, dude.
No worries. You've given me at least something to think about. It's good to be able to talk these things through. So,
of course, anytime.
You're always definitely welcome to call back.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, folks.
Appreciate
your time.
All right. Have a good one. Okay.
What a sweet.
He was
he's
so...
probably, he's probably sick of hearing that too. You're sweet. But it was wonderful. I hope he finds a nice gal.
Yeah, if you're watching, Matthew, do me a favor. Friend me on Facebook, facebook.com/EthanFMichael. Also send me a message because I've actually not been accepting friend requests. So yeah, just send me a message and I'll accept your friend request, or I'll send you a friend request after you send me a message.
Were you trying to wingman him?
Well, no, but he's a nice guy.
Oh, you just like him. You just like him. Yeah. Okay, for sure. Okay. I was like, you're on a mission now.
We do have another caller. Well, actually, we have two other callers, but I'm gonna go in order. So, Chris, you're on with Hannah and Ethan.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, yourself?
Hey.
Fantastic. Totally relate to Matthew, and there's so much to comment on. I originally called in for a totally different subject, but then after hearing Matthew, I was kind of forced to comment on his reaction.
Sure.
Rejection hurts, but in a way, you have to kind of get that out of the way, and instead of losing the confidence when it first happens, a lot of good pickups, especially if like you're into it, you get that out of the way, you look forward to the rejection, and then you can have more fun with it. And then, then you can become playful and flirty.
Yeah, you get the fear out of the way.
Sorry, go ahead.
I just felt really bad. I would advise Matthew to be kind of vague and mysterious as far as his height and his race, especially if he's insecure. That just takes experience and going out there, and the relationships especially with the dating apps. They're like Hannah said, people are doing it because they're bored. And unfortunately, I've been in that experience where I've come across somebody. I was dating somebody that I met off a dating app for 6 months, and then I found out she was married.
Holy fucking shit.
Experience.
That sucks. I feel like I don't have the same experience as you guys, but I would hate for him to feel like he needs to hide his race and his height.
Right.
Like, is it, like I get where you're coming from, but it makes me frustrated that exists. You know what I mean? That people are like, oh, people aren't going to want to date me because of my height and my race. I'm like, but at the same time, like I get that that's a real thing that exists, but I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
And on the...
Sorry, Chris, please.
I was just going to go on and say, as far as like being in a relationship, it's phenomenal. And I think the best thing that can happen is communication. Talk about things, the good and the bad. Being able to build trust, be honest, faithful, obviously. Be there for one another and make time for one another. Leave the past to the past, because nobody cares about that, especially the exes and who other people have been with. Don't expect like so much change at once, and appreciate the flaws, because I think relationships are so often so quick now that people are, they don't like something and then they go on to the next. Like,
yeah.
We have short attention spans nowadays, which,
exactly.
At the same time, I don't know that that's a bad thing, because people used to just stay in a relationship when they were completely unhappy. Divorce rates have increased, but maybe that's because people recognize that if they're in an unhealthy relationship, they should have the option to get out of it. Now, right. I do think too many people rush marriage, but I never mind. I'm not going to get into that.
Well, it's like people don't want to settle. That's good. But people also romanticize relationships. So yeah, so it's kind of this weird double-sided thing where too much of one or the other is not that good.
Now, I don't know about your two personal relationships as far as like if you're committed to somebody, but especially now after the COVID times, it seems like people are a lot more needy and like looking after for some sort of, you know, comfort, especially after being like housebound for so long.
I mean, yeah, a lot of people were cooped up. I'm one of them. I was cooped up. We're like all cooped up. And I mean, I'm like, I want to go out and party, but I'm just like, it's still not the responsible thing to do. But I want to like explode and give a million people hugs. Like, but you know, COVID was difficult for a lot of people. You know, they didn't get to have, you know, go out on dates and spend time with the people important to them. They stopped seeing their family. So it probably made a lot of people long for relationships or just some type of companionship of some type.
Yeah, I got lonely as hell.
Yeah, Matthew, or sorry, not
that was the one before Chris.
Not Matthew, Chris. Anything else you want to cover?
No, that was pretty much it. I hope the best for Matthew.
Yeah.
Me too. We're all rooting for you, Matthew.
Like I said, dude, find me on Facebook. Chris, thank you for calling in to speak with us.
Take care, guys.
You too.
Can I tell a story?
Yeah.
All right. It's about jealousy. It is the reason I messaged Ethan and was like, Ethan, I want to cover jealousy because I'm fuming right now. And it makes me, you already know what it is because I just messaged you about it. Like the reason I'm so fucking fired up. So I have a friend who gave me permission to speak about this, although I'm going to be as vague as possible. Pardon?
I said good idea.
Yeah. So basically, my friend has a jealous partner, and I didn't find out until a year later when he like disappeared, kind of, that I was like the reason he disappeared, and I had no idea until like a year later, maybe. So basically, I've had this friend that I met on, aging myself, Bebo, back in 2007. Bebo, it was like before MySpace. For those who don't know what MySpace is, why are you even here? It's your bedtime.
You're only like 26, so you weren't even around for MySpace.
Yes, I fucking was. I was a scene kid. I was a scene kid, so I absolutely was.
Really?
Okay, I'll friggin' show you some like
MySpace is like old man days, not 26-year-old days. That actually really surprises me.
You're insane. Okay, so anyway, I met this guy on Bebo who lives in the UK. Adore him so much. He was like my boyfriend in like 2007 for like a second, but like he lives in the UK. But we stayed friends all these years. He calls me his pen pal, and we've been nothing more than friendly to each other all these years. Always checked in with each other. So we went from Bebo to like MSN to MySpace to Facebook, Snapchat. So it's like we always just kind of follow each other's lives. And I noticed like a couple months ago, I was like, how's he doing? Looked him up, couldn't find him. I'm like, oh, I guess his Facebook's gone. I guess he'll find me eventually. Some months go by, I like forget about it. And he like sends me a message on Snapchat and he's like, hey. And I'm like, there you are. How are you, dude? And he's like, yeah, sorry, I went MIA. My now ex didn't want me talking. It wanted me to delete all my social media, basically. And I'm like, oh, that really sucks. And he's like, yeah, it's actually because of you, like in particular. And I was like, I live in a different country. And he's like, I even tried to show her the messages. She didn't even want anything to do with it. Well, guess why? Because she was cheating on him the whole time. And I'm just so fucking mad because, like, this is my friend that I care about, And I don't fault him for this because I've been there. I've actually been on both sides of the coin. I understand how difficult it can be when your partner is pressuring you to do something like that because you're like, I want to salvage this, prioritize this. And when you don't have a lot of dating experience, you don't realize that, hey, that's bullshit. If we were being inappropriate, she would have every right to say don't talk to her. But we were not. She refused to even look at the proof. But it's so funny how the most jealous people sometimes are usually the cheaters.
Yeah, funny how that works.
It's really funny how that works. However, there are, what's the word? Exceptions. I had a cheating ex who was completely indifferent when it came to who was hitting on me and who I was talking to. So neither are healthy. A little bit of healthy jealousy that makes you a little randy when you see someone hitting on your man.
Yeah, I think that is a good and healthy amount. Do you want to get to our last caller?
Yes, thank you for indulging me. I'm so fucking mad still.
Well, understandably so. All right, Bryce Aroni, you are on with Ethan and Hannah. What's up, dude?
Hey, Ethan, how's it going?
Good, yourself?
I'm pretty good. This is actually, I'm embarrassed to say this. This is my first time watching this particular show of yours, but congratulations and hello, Hannah. It's good meeting you for the first time as well.
How dare you, and welcome.
So jealousy, I kind of have a thought about that. I'm not really the jealous type, and neither is my partner. I'm in a marriage. I'm married to a guy, and neither one of us are particularly jealous, but I am jealous of his past experiences. Because I feel like for a long time in my life, I didn't really have the opportunity to have the experiences that he did. I was kind of in the closet for most of my life. I'm bisexual, so I dated women early in my life. I was in the military for a long time, back when, you couldn't really be out. So I didn't really explore that side of my sexuality for a long time. Mm-hmm. And then, once it became okay to do, I decided that I was going to do that, and I met him. And of course, we fell in love and then became happily married. But I don't know. I listened to his stories and his familiarity with LGBT culture, and I'm very ignorant to that for someone of my age, So sometimes I do get a little bit jealous of the type of experiences that he has had before, knowing that I'm married and in a committed relationship right now, and I don't really have the opportunity to have those sorts of experiences. I mean, I'm not really regretful of that, but there is a capacity that's there. And so we've kind of developed I describe it as a pseudo open relationship. It's not really open, but we have rules, but he's very tolerant of that and very understanding of the fact that, I don't really have the experiences, and I do have those issues with curiosity and wanting to be able to experience other people.
Right.
And so we have rules in place, and I feel like because we have that and because that level of understanding is there, that kind of minimizes the jealousy factor at all. He knows whatever I'm going to be doing with anybody else. I know if he's going to be doing anything else. We're very open and honest with each other and very tolerant of the fact that, we have different histories and backgrounds and curiosities, but still love each other. Right. And that's kind of the situation that works for us. I'm aware that that's not exactly the type of thing that will work for everybody in their marriage, but that's the thing that works for us. And I feel like that is what has kept us from really experiencing jealousy or jealousy being a factor in our relationship.
That makes my heart dance.
I can see Hannah looks very happy right now.
Well, because I can relate in a way, because I have dated mostly men my whole life and have been freaked out. I just came out to my mom in my last visit to California last week. So I've had girlfriends, but I'm all fucking scared and shit. But there's always this part of me that's like, man, I should have really slutted out sooner. You know what I mean?
Dude, same.
But
Bryce, Maloney, and Hannah.
You know,
if
Yeah.
my former partner and I could have realized like years earlier that we didn't belong together, so I could have been enjoying, and so she could have been enjoying and expressing ourselves in our own ways, that would have been way cooler. Because now, dude, I feel like I'm playing catch up. Like single, I've been single for like a year and a half now, a year and a half after like 12 years. So, yeah, I missed out on a lot of life experiences, which hopefully I'm going to get to enjoy now.
Yeah. No, I love that you said you're like poly, but not. I learned this term from Vila Bianca, monogamish. And I love that term.
What's monogamish?
Right.
It's like you're not poly, but you're not exactly monogamous either. You know, like you got some, you got in the rules a little bit.
Term. I think I'm going to use that from now on, because I think that perfectly describes my situation. Kind of like, you know, you're definitely committed to one person, but you're also open to exploring other things with that one person. So, yeah, that definitely works for me.
So I was told
Awesome.
there was oh, sorry.
Well, no, I was just going to say that something else you touched on a little bit ago, Ethan, and I've heard you talk about it before, about how you have, you know, insecurities and you feel like you're playing catch up. The other thing I really wanted to call in to say is that, you know, in a lot of ways you are very much like me, or I'm like you. And I sense that whenever I watch your streams, and I have a lot of the same insecurities. I feel like I was always playing catch up. I'm older than a lot of people think, but I seem younger. But, you know, we love company, and sometimes it can just be helpful to hear another voice from a peer with similar issues, you know, and just for building each other up. And the fact that you, someone who I look up to and admire, still gets jealous, or not jealous, but still gets nervous, like on YouTube streams or when you're hosting by yourself or doing anything like that, that kind of makes me feel normal, because I experience the same kinds of issues. So, I just wanted you to hear that from me, to know that you're not alone in this. You know, you also have a very pleasant sounding speaking voice. Your tone, your cadence, your inflections, your delivery. You have a youthful, energetic, friendly voice that puts a lot of people at ease. And I enjoy listening to you, and because you sound like a normal guy that people want to talk to. So don't beat yourself up too much about not liking your voice. I don't think anybody likes the sound of their own voice. I don't listen to myself back on streams, but other people don't seem to mind at all. So I just wanted to let you know that.
Dude, like I am, for one, I don't know if you can see right now, I'm like grinning and blushing. Like, dude.
Yeah, I can see it.
Seriously, thank you. Like that, hearing that actually does help. And it's nice to hear. It really is, to know that I'm not alone in this feeling.
That's why we do this.
Fine. This really is, Bryce. Every time I go live, I am mortified that I might say something stupid, or that I might let like bad information out, and that bad information somebody will use and they'll get hurt because of it. And even like with who I platform, I become terrified with who I let on my channel, because I'm like, I need to make sure that I am pushing humanists, people who are trying to build others up, and I don't want to support anyone that is tearing others down. I don't know. I'm becoming more and more paranoid the more I do this. But thank you. Seriously.
Yeah, and thanks again for having me on. And Hannah, it's good to meet you. I hope to get to see you a little bit more in the future too. And I'm definitely stealing that phrase, monogamish. Just really quick, I wanted to give a shout out to some of my buddies here in the chat, Oz and Pop and Mike, who really kind of put me on the map and set me up. They're backstage in the chat talking it up. So thanks to them, and thanks to you guys for having me on. I'm going to let you guys get back to the show so you can take some real callers now.
No, thank you so much, Bryce. It was really nice talking to you.
Thank you.
Take care, bud.
All right, talk to you later.
I can't stop smiling.
Oh, I know. What a great last call. Like that was, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I feel just like good inside.
Same. And also Oz Pasta Mike, for those watching, I highly recommend, if you're not subscribed to the Atheist Roundtable YouTube channel, I definitely recommend it. Those guys are workhorses over there, and they're always putting together some fantastic content. So check it out. I believe it's youtube.com/ is it the Atheist Roundtable? I think so. Anyways, actually, if you look at my recommended channels, I have 5 recommended people at the bottom. They are one of the channels under recommended. So check them out, along with the Kenneth, Leonard, Puck, and Jenna Belk.
Hey, yo. Thanks to our screener, Secular Rarity.
Yes, thank you.
You're doing a great job.
Yes, we had really good calls. That was awesome.
No one dropped any slurs.
I know that was that's always my biggest fear, is someone's going to try and screw with the show. But
sneak one in. What do you got going on this week or next week or up soon?
Like a bazillion things, but
always
this Saturday on my Twitch channel, I'm hosting a Star Wars trivia. I've got 5 other atheist YouTubers and 1 Christian on Atheist Game Night. They'll be competing in Star Wars trivia. Yeah.
Is one of them Dean?
No, Dan Jacob from Dear Christians podcast.
Oh my gosh.
He's like, one of my Christian friends was like, what a bunch of bullshit. Like, you're only allowing atheists on? I'm like, well, it's Atheist Game Night. I'm like, if you want to be on Atheist Game Night, where it says it on the banner, then hey, cool, you're welcome to join.
I had a nightmare about getting of someone trying to convert me last night. You just reminded me. Like, I was in a church and there were people like talking to me, like being like, we're trying to help you. And I woke up like super upset. Anyway. Hey, thanks to the super chats. Do you want to read them real quick?
Oh, yes.
We see Cooper Gates said, sorry, I tagged you on Facebook. My attempts aren't getting through. Doubt it's a problem on your end. Thank you very much. I don't know if that's to Ethan or me.
Yes, I believe that was to me. And then Matthew, thanks for listening to me, folks. Sorry if my voice cracked up a little. It's tough talking about my insecurities. No problem. I get it. Like, talking to a audience of people can be terrifying, especially about things that you're insecure about. I know there are insecurities I haven't addressed that hopefully I'll one day address. But it's not easy. And thank you for calling in and sharing them with us.
Yes, thank you.
Hopefully we're helpful. For those who don't know, I also host a show with Jenna Belk on mental health. That's every Sunday at 11 a.m. It's on the youtube.com/the Ethan and Jenna show. Otherwise, we'll be back next Tuesday with Kenneth, Leonard, and Brainbug on The Perspective, where we tackle supernatural and paranormal claims, ghosts, belief in aliens, pretty much anything and everything. This last Tuesday, we had a caller who thought, who is essentially an anti-masker. So it was, he was definitely the most well-researched anti-masker I've ever listened to. Like, he had just enough information to use it in a, I don't want to say harmful way, but less than, I guess anti-masks are harmful. So yes, in a harmful way.
Just say it.
Yes. Also, thank you to our top tier patrons, Cindy PLAZA, Kenneth, Leonard, Kathy Letto, JumpandShoot, Oz, Secular Rarity, Chianti and Fava Beans, Philip Leitch, Kaitlyn Beyond, Toast, Richard Gilliver, Kyle Brewer. All of you are awesome. Thank you so much for your patronage. Hannah, aren't you coming up on like Neil's deconversion soon?
Yes. You always catch me off guard. Let me pull up my what's it called? Calendar. Sorry, I'm burping. It's going to be 7 p.m. Central Standard Time with Neil 604 Atheist.
On which day?
April 10th. That's
April.
a Saturday. Thank you.
Okay. Make sure
You know, I'm
take
getting better at this, but not good at like promo other things.
Oh, you're getting fantastic at this. You've
Thank you.
you've just gotten so good at this, Hannah. You're like the best. Like
I'm
seriously,
the best.
you're the freaking best, man.
I'm the fucking best. Sorry. I'm just excited. Thank you.
Yeah, I love doing this
I'm
with
glad
you.
we're doing this.
I literally could not have asked for like a better co-host. So like this is just the pickup line would not be the pickup line without Hannah Vaughn.
That's right. And you, Ethan, of course. You do so much work. I don't know if you guys know, Ethan is very tired and needs some sleep. It's 10. He works very hard. Also, just like, not that he needs this because he's way more famous, but Holy Kool-Aid, my better half, his birthday is on Sunday. So say happy birthday to him.
Hannah, he's way more famous.
He's so famous.
He is, dude. He's a.
I mean, like
YouTuber.
relatively in our niche. He does
He's
well. I'm proud of him. He's a cool dude. That's why I have this fucking setup, man.
Yeah, which is so cool.
It's convenient.
You know, in about 5 weeks, I'll have a new setup too because I'll be in a new home. Well, I won't be here anymore. I'll be in the new place.
It better look the same because we're matching.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. It's probably not going to look the same.
It'll look cooler.
I don't know.
See.
Hopefully, we'll see. If not, I'll just put these back up.
Okay.
All
well,
right.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes.
It's been real. And be jealous a little bit, just like in a little horny way.